Round 8 of the World Championship, and we're in the northwest corner of Belgium in Genk. Scene of Michael PICHON's win last year. Can Pit Byra do anything about it in 2002? He lies third in the championship with 141 points. That means he's just 17 points behind his teammate Josh Coppins. But the man with the big lead in the championship at 2/3 distance is Michael Rocket PICHON, 188 points to his credit. The start, of course, probably more crucial than ever in these single race format days. Frederick Bolle in 4th place in the championship, 125 points. And Josh Coppins, the man in 2nd place, on 158. So the lineup for round 8 of the World Championship Series. Number 8, Väyväläinen, alongside number 16, his teammate at CAS Honda, Paul Cooper. And as the field explodes down the wide start straight here, Michael PICHON right on the inside. And that's good enough to get him through into 2nd place, just ahead of Gordon Crockard as they slam the bank on the exit to the 2nd turn. And it's messy, it's hard, it's tough here. Kenneth Gunderson is going to find it tougher than most. He's already been down, possibly with his teammate Andrew McFarlane, right at the start of the race. And that is Jussi Väyväläinen. Jussi Väyväläinen, he too is down. And he's got a special one-off guest teammate this weekend in the great American Robbie Reynard, who has come over to race for CAS Honda here in Belgium and get a sniff of Grand Prix motocross. At the front, the opposition can't get a sniff of Michael PICHON. He's taken off already in the lead, and in Genk, horrible conditions here. Muddy, wet, watery. This is Genk at its worst. And look at Kevin STRIJBOS, the 17-year-old sensation who's been given a guest ride on the Suzuki Grand Prix team at the request of Michael PICHON, whose teammate Sven Breugelman broke a leg in the pre-season Hawkston International at Hawkston Park in Shropshire. So PICHON has been riding solo in the Suzuki Grand Prix team, takes a look over his shoulder, and he may have glimpsed Kevin STRIJBOS in 4th place. A great start by the teenage sensation, who was a 125 rider last year. Here is number 14, Marko Kovalainen. He's had a coming together with, it may have been Robbie Reynard, who had a clash with him there, the strong American who's riding for CAS Honda as a one-off Grand Prix outing. Michael PICHON, I bet a few of his opponents wish he would have a one-off Grand Prix mistake, but right now he's at the front. Water on the track, nasty conditions, but the sun ironically is out. And there is number 99, Kevin STRIJBOS, enjoying a factory Suzuki beneath him. Crockard is in 3rd place. Can the Croc Star hold on to that or even improve it? 4th STRIJBOS, 5th Bolle, 6th Byra, 7th the 2nd KTM of James Dobb, 8th Paul Cooper, and 9th Carl Nunn, who suffered a split exhaust pipe in Sweden when he was looking like he was going to bag a good number of points there. Number 5, Pit Byra, has also been in trouble. So often we see Pit Byra just recovering from having sort of parked laterally across the course, and we always wonder what's happened to put him there. Here's Kenneth Gunderson trying to make ground through the track after that first lap fall. And in these conditions, that's going to take a brave recovery from the young Norwegian. And he's going to get well filled in these nasty conditions. Oh, and there's poor Väyväläinen taken down again. And I think that might have been, was that Robbie Reynard down there? I think Robbie Reynard is having a fairly scary introduction to Grand Prix motocross. Someone should tell him that it's not always like this. Sometimes it's nice and clean and warm and dry and dusty. Frederick Bolle trying to force a way inside Kevin STRIJBOS, but the kid's not for frightening. He's trying to hold off, and Fred has to take the wet road. STRIJBOS emerges in front. This is the battle for 4th place. Oh, it's not. It's a battle for 3rd because Gordon Crockard is in trouble. The Ulsterman suddenly is back to 5th. And in that moment of confusion, that means that Fred Bolle has forced his way through into 3rd place. Almost a smile on Carlo Rinaldi's face. So a mud-caked Frederick Bolle is through into third place here. Fourth is Kevin STRIJBOS. Fifth, but not out of it yet, is Gordon Crockard. And in these conditions, no one's out of it yet, because these conditions are fast and they are brutal, and anything can happen at these sort of speeds. Kevin STRIJBOS, former European 80cc motocross champion. And this is the sixth place James Dobb, the reigning 125cc world champ. He's beginning to close the gap. So too is Crockard. Crockard in fifth place, trying to get a handle on Kevin STRIJBOS ahead of him, the 23-year-old Ulsterman, who first started out grass tracking in 1990 at the age of 11 at the Comber grass track in Northern Ireland. After 5 laps, Mikael PICHON leads, Josh Coppins second, Fred Bolle third. STRIJBOS and Crockard locked together in fourth place after Crockard's mistake. And he has a 4-second advantage over his teammate Jamie Dobb. PICHON though. Joel Robert, the man in the middle of your picture then, the fabled 6 times world motocross champion, the sturdy Belgian, as we see the sad side of Kenneth Gunderson in trouble once again after his brave recovery during the early laps from that first turn shunt. And even Mikael PICHON can look a little bit unsure of himself in conditions as nasty and gnarly as these. So Joel Robert, the Belgian legend, who is rumoured to have once stubbed a cigarette out on the handlebars of his great rival Sylvain Gabors on the starting line. It may be apocryphal, but it certainly could be true, because the beer-swilling Belgium was the fastest man around in the 250 Grand Prix of the late 60s and early 70s. This is Gordon Crockard, one of the fastest men in 250cc Grand Prix at the moment, and he's getting the bike more in tune with how he likes to have it, and he's going quicker as a result. But he hasn't yet found a way past that pale-haired, pale-eyed little man in front of him, Kevin STRIJBOS, a teenager with a future. Gordon Crockard, reckoned by many to be a future world champion. Oh, look at the two of them, absolutely broadside together as Crockard tries to get the power down and the KTM in front of the Suzuki, and he does it. He does it and he avoids the lakes on the track, forces through past STRIJBOS into fourth place. Crockard may even be enjoying these mushy conditions. Kenneth Gunderson isn't. He's shaking his head and he's out of the race on the Motor X Kawasaki. Meanwhile, down through the forest, something stirred, and it's now a fight for fifth place, because James Dobb has been creeping up on the battle between Crockard and STRIJBOS, and he's now trying to find a way past the kid in yellow. And very, very quickly does so. So James Dobb, who himself was riding Grand Prix in his mid-teens, nabs that fifth place from Kevin STRIJBOS. STRIJBOS, the namesake of the 1986 World 125 champion Davy STRIJBOS, though they're not in any way related. At the front, Mikael PICHON set his fastest lap on lap 4, and he is as comfortably in the lead as you can be in these conditions. He won here in Genk last year. He got the 25 points. Second place went to Chad Reed. Third place to Pit Byra. Gordon Crockard closing in on Frederick Bolle. Could it be that the Crockstar, having got accustomed to the rostrum, wants another one, and he scythes his way past Fred Bolle as if the Frenchman's standing still. Bolle certainly not looking comfortable nor happy as Crockard blitzes his way through into third place now behind championship leaders PICHON and Coppins. This is Josh Coppins. He is in second place on the Vismara Bernie Honda. The man from Motueka in New Zealand. His birthday, March the 11th. If you want to send him a birthday card next year. March, just 2 days after my own. So he suffers from the problem of being a Pisces as well. We used to think we were bad at making decisions, now we're not so sure. Kevin STRIJBOS now has Pit Byra for company, so the old war horses keep on overhauling the teenager and giving him a hard time. Pit Byra on the move. And Byra amazingly has stayed upright in these conditions so far. But if the cameras stay trained on him, that story might change. But no, it's Frederick Bolle who's gone down. A disconsolate Fred Bolle picks up the Yamaha, and the body language suggests he doesn't want to get back on, at least not very quickly. So Bolle is out, the smile is wiped off Rinaldi's face, and it could be the end of the Belgian Grand Prix for poor Frederick. Pit Byra, meantime, is trying to force his way inside Kevin STRIJBOS. STRIJBOS leaves a barn door open. Byra says thank you very much, finds his way through. And the next man in his sights will be James Dobb in the orange alloy gear. Now, can Dobby hold off Pit Byra? Byra is rampant, and when the pit bull gets the bit between his teeth, he's off. And Fred Bolle looks to me like he's got mud in his eyes. He can't see where he's going. He's feeling thoroughly disconsolate, and he's out of the race. Meanwhile, Pit Byra just about hanging on to it, hard up against the paling fence. Looks for the inside line against James Dobb. And chops back from right to left and gets him, clean as a whistle. Moves through into 4th place. So he and Coppins now 2nd and 4th on those Bernie Hondas. James Dobb at least temporarily demoted to 5th place. Behind STRIJBOS, Carl Nunn is still there in 7th place, and Vevelainen in 8th on the number 8 Cass Honda, with his temporary teammate Robbie Reynard making a storming comeback into the points. Robbie Reynard, of course, World Supercross champion 3 years ago when he was riding for Suzuki. And here's Mrs. PICHON coming out once again to greet her apparently triumphant husband. PICHON still looking as fast and fluent as he was at the beginning of the race. Charges round the outside of the lapped Johnny Aubert. Aubert outside the top 15 this time around. And this is Josh Coppins in 2nd place. Mark Eastwood, number 56, gets lapped by number 3, 3rd placeman Gordon Crockard. Byra 4th, Dobb now 5 seconds adrift in 5th place. And Kevin STRIJBOS, well, he's over a minute behind the leader, but it's still an impressive debut from the youngster. Mikael Pichon once again punches the air in glee. How often have we seen that? The only track it hasn't happened at this year has been Teufelsschol in Germany at the European round. Pichon finishes and wins the Belgian Grand Prix at Genk. Holds his hands up as if to say, well, sorry, what can I do about it? They're not fast enough to catch me. Josh Coppins finishes 2nd. Another good, solid result for him. And Gordon Crockard once again gets on the rostrum. Things are improving all the time for the factory KTM. He'll take home the 20 points for 3rd place. Thank you very much. So the ginger-headed 6-foot Ulsterman finishes in 3rd place. And after making that mistake mid-race, that's a good position to be in. Pit Byra 4th. Jamie Dobb will be 5th. Kevin STRIJBOS, a loudly cheered 6th. Local boy makes good. Here is STRIJBOS, and that's as good as a win for him. He crosses the finishing line, prepares to get submerged beneath his jubilant team members. Well done, my boy. Behind him, Carl Nunn on the SoCal Husqvarna. And Robbie Reynard catches